In this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 visual yet simple cigarette magic tricks that anyone can do. So let's get started. So in trick number 1, you actually have a cigarette, and when you go to smoke it, it just turns upside down. And then when you turn it over again, it stays like that until you actually take the cigarette and shake it and just make it normal. This trick is actually very easy to do. For this trick, you're going to need a gap cigarette which have half filters on both the sides. Now at this point, if you hold the cigarette like that, and when you go to put that in your mouth, in that big motion, if you twist the cigarette with your index finger, it will look like that the cigarette has gone the other way. Now from the front, if you twist the cigarette like this, it will look like that even if you're twisting, the cigarette is staying in the same position because it has got half filters on both the sides. And after that, you can just take the cigarette, and while shaking it, you can again pull the cigarette back with your index finger in order to roll it, and it will go in the other way. Now for this trick, you actually need this gimmick. So I have actually made an in-depth tutorial on how to make this gimmick, and not just that, how to use this gimmick as well. So basically the link will be somewhere on the screen and in the description. Make sure you go and check that out if you need to. In trick number 2, you're going to take a cigarette and then change its color just like that. For this trick, you're going to need a colored cigarette and a normal cigarette. Now you're going to keep the colored cigarette hidden inside your fingers just like that. And with the same hand, you're going to hold the normal cigarette so that it looks like that you just have only one cigarette. Now when you want, you're just going to grab that filter of the cigarette and then push it behind the fingers and in a very fast motion. And while you do that, you're actually going to do the flip stick move. So the flip stick move is like this. You keep your index finger at the tip, the middle finger at the bottom, and the thumb at the top. Then when you pull the middle finger backwards, the object actually goes inside your fingers. So that's the flip stick move, and you're going to do that in a very fast motion while you're pushing the cigarette downwards. And at the same time, you're going to push out the colored cigarette with your thumb just like that. And when you're able to do these two things at the same time and very fast, it will look like that the same cigarette has changed its color. Again, for this trick, I already have an in-depth tutorial, so the link will be somewhere on the screen as well as in the description. In the third trick, I'm going to take a pen and turn it into a cigarette. Now this trick exactly works with the same mechanism as the previous one. In place of the colored cigarette, you're just going to hide the normal cigarette, and in place of the normal cigarette, you're going to hold the pen just like that with the same hand so that it looks like that you're just having the pen and nothing else. Now whenever you want, you're going to grab the tip of the pen and push it behind your fingers very fast while doing the flip stick move. And on the other hand, you're going to use your thumb to push down the cigarette and open it up while you're doing the flip stick move. And when the timings match perfectly, it will look like that the pen just turned into a cigarette right in front of their eyes. Now since this is an object transformation trick, you also have to get rid of the pen, and I also have an in-depth tutorial for this entire trick where in the end I discuss how to get rid of the pen. If you want to visit the tutorial, the link will be somewhere on the screen as well as in the description box. In the fourth trick, I'm going to take a cigarette and put it inside my hand and then crush it until it vanishes into thin air. And whenever I want, I can actually bring the cigarette back just like that. This trick is very easy to do. For this trick, all you need to know is the flip stick move, and you also don't have to do it very fast because it is going to happen under the cover of your other hand. So basically, when you're going to pretend to grab the cigarette with your other hand, that hand becomes a cover, and behind that cover, if you do the flip stick move and grab the cigarette with your palm and the index finger just like that, then it looks like that this hand is completely empty because the cigarette stays hidden inside your fingers and it is barely visible. And also, since you're going to do this while you're going to pretend to grab the cigarette, everyone's attention will be on this hand because they're going to think that the cigarette is here because this hand really looks empty. So at this point, you can drop this hand freely by the side of your body and pretend to crush the cigarette and vanish it into thin air. And basically, when you're doing that crushing movement in this hand, what you're doing is basically from this point, you're actually moving the cigarette to this point and grabbing the cigarette with your thumb in this position. So at this point, if you turn your body towards the side and bring the hand up like that, the cigarette is pretty much invisible, and for that you also need to practice a lot. And from here, you're not going to keep it for too long because it is angle sensitive. You're just going to grab the tip of the cigarette and use the middle finger in order to push the cigarette out. And when you do that like this, it looks like that the cigarette just appeared from thin air, that you just vanished in front of the spectators. Again, I have a detailed tutorial for it, so if you want to go and watch it, the link will be somewhere on the screen as well as in the description. In the fifth trick, I'm gonna make a cigarette appear just like that from thin air. So here is how you're gonna do it. This trick is very easy to do. For this trick, you're going to need a double-sided tape, or you can take a normal cello tape and turn it into a double-sided tape by just rolling it onto the opposite side, and then you're going to take that and stick it behind your thumb just like that. Now I don't prefer either double-sided or this cellotape because this is very strong adhesive and it might destroy the cigarette, so I won't recommend you doing that. You can use magician's wax instead, and all you have to do is basically stick the cigarette behind your thumb just like that, and from the front it's pretty much invisible. So basically what you're going to do is when you're going to shake your hand, you're going to close all your fingers and you're going to close the thumb inside this all of these fingers. So if this is from where the spectators are looking, then from their view they are not going to see the cigarette, and once you do this quickly it will look like that you just created a fist and a cigarette popped up from nowhere, and this will look like that from the front, from where the spectators are viewing. So basically you will have to have no sleight of hand or any kind of skills at all for doing this trick, and that's the most favorite part of this trick. So that's how you're going to do this trick. So these were the 5 visual cigarette tricks that literally anyone can do, because as you saw, this is not that hard at all. And keeping that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching. If you're new here, then make sure you subscribe, because that's what helps me make amazing videos like this one for you guys. And one more time, thanks for watching. Peace.